Yeah, I want to go back to what you were just saying about Venmo. So people are storing money in these apps. Talk a little bit more about the risk you described.
Well, so one of the things that people have long used in our country and it's used, every day is what's called money transmitters. Often we think of it as sending money overseas, an international remittance. But many of these companies that are registered as money transfer services, they are actually peer-to-peer apps. They're growing in popularity and especially during the pandemic experienced more growth. And many people have downloaded these apps on their phones to not just pay their friends, but also to make other purchases. It's often, but not always, connected to their bank account. And instead of just moving money from place to place, a lot of customers have balances. People can look at their app for their PayPal or Venmo or Cash App balance. And many people think of this as it's like a bank account, it's a place I can store funds. But the reality is, it's not like a traditional bank account. And there are certain circumstances where those balances may not be fully insured. One of the things that the CFPB did over a year ago is we ordered a whole set of information from the big tech companies like Apple Pay and Google Pay, as well as these big P2P payment providers, about all sorts of issues, about data, about how they kick people off their system. But we're also really interested in fraud and the safety and security of those funds. I have argued that we may need to think when it comes to digital payments and currency of looking at an old provision of law that was also passed in 2010 that would allow the regulators to designate certain payment systems as potentially systemic, which would allow us to make sure they are safe and sound and protecting consumers. So I generally advise consumers not to keep too much money in these accounts, to move it to your bank account. You can always use it to pay later, but I really want to make sure that, especially as people from all walks of life, including some of the lowest income and paycheck to paycheck families, that they know their money is secure even in the digital world.